Yo, back with another video. In this video, I'm gonna talk about how females are. There's a reason why there is a saying that you cannot understand a woman or love her at the same time. Any man that loves a woman is because they don't really understand their nature. That's right, you can't do both. That's just how it is. So, any man who loves a woman is because they're not aware of their nature at its core. When a man does know their nature, then it just makes us not want them, not love them, basically. I mean, you can love or understand a woman, you can't do both. Because once you understand a woman, then you understand what they are. Chaos. Yeah, they're basically the universal chaos on this realm in human form. Chaos in human form is called a woman. That's just the truth. Yeah. Chaos is made from a piece of the masculinity, which is why they're called double X, while men are YX. Chaos originally comes from peace. You know, our Y chromosome is called the peace. Our X is called the chaos. Yeah. Females are made from that piece of us, which is also based off of the universal chaos, the feminine, that came from the masculine, the peace, the silence, the void, the dark. So yeah. So anyway, I gotta mention this. All right, so when you understand what women are at their core, then it makes sense why they're supposed to be controlled, why they're controlled substance, why they're supposed to be completely owned like property. You know, they're a natural slave. We don't make them a slave. That's just what they are. They're supposed to be treated that way. They're supposed to have no rights. They're supposed to be fully feminine, controlled, respecting male authority, respecting males. You know, be completely servitude to whoever man that she ends up with. This is facts. This is reality. It turns out, once you understand them at their core, now it makes sense why they're supposed to be controlled. Why they were literally created to be controlled, to be owned as property. That's not a bad thing. That's facts. That's reality. The world system we live in lies to us about all kinds of shit. They lie to us about the reality of how things are, about what male and female is. Males are masters, females are servants. That's the truth. Females are created to be controlled because they are universal chaos. Chaos is a controlled substance. Chaos, she was not created to have rights of her own. It's just not in her nature. She can't lead on her own. She can't have any rights on her own. She don't know what she wants. Why is that? Because she's not created for that. That's why. Why do you think females are sexually attractive to being completely dominated, controlled by men fully? You know, when it comes to their true nature, to be completely owned by men, controlled by men. Why do you think they orgasm at the thought of that? Because that is what they are. Society lies to females about what they are. They're property of men. They're servants by default. But society lies to them by telling them they're more than what they are. Society tells them they're more than what they are, which is a lie. Only men are masters, women are not. Women are not designed to have their own choices of deciding what they want or what they don't want. They're created to be for the man, to be completely controlled by the man, to be all about the man. Females don't have a complete self. They're XX. They're half of the self. A man is YX because another term for man, masculinity, is completion. We are where females come from. Females are XX. They're half of us. The chaos of the universe is half of the void. That's why it's not the complete, it's the half. This is why females can't be complete on their own. They have to be attached to a male no matter what. Yeah, that's why to a female, to be alone without a male to be attached to is a fate worse than death. This is why they're like that. Why they have to be where males are. Why they can't be alone while a man can be alone. Because a man is the completion while females are the half. A woman is the half. A girl is a half. While a boy is complete. The male gender is complete. The female gender is half. This is the truth. This is why they can't be alone. The female gender. And the society knows about the unbalance. You know, they're all about lying to the public, right? So this is why they try to teach men to think with their second mind, X chromosome, instead of their Y mind. Yeah. They don't want men to know their true nature either. So their goal was to get us to think like a woman, which is to teach us to think with emotion instead of logic. So they want to brainwash us from a child, so it'll be easy for us to believe the lie, and we'll be thinking like a woman, thinking we need somebody to complete us. That's really just a woman thing, not a man thing. Men don't get lonely. Men are only lonely when they they're deceived and brainwashed to think they're lonely when they're taught that way. They're taught to think with their their X chromosome. This chromosome is also called the emotion or the ego or the shadow mind or the necessary evil. The Y chromosome is the peace, the dark, the silence, the mind beyond the emotion mind. Yep, it's the Y chromosome, that the mind beyond the emotion mind. So anyway, men have those two minds because males universally are complete. Females are half of us. This is why they're double X, and there's no Y chromosome in them. If they had a Y chromosome, then they'll be a male too. But they're female because they have two X. That's what female is half. Females alone are called the half, while men are called the complete. Yeah, we complete females, while when it comes to us men, a female it's just a choice. We can either have them or not have them. Like, we could do with or without them. While a woman is the opposite. They cannot do without us. Yeah, huh? This society tries to lie to people about many shit. And they try to even condition people to believe in the opposite. They would even make people think that a female is a male and a male is a female. See how backwards society is? So they'll try to pretend that females are the same as men, or that females they will try to pretend that females are the ones who don't need the opposite. They're trying to make it the opposite. And they'll try to make it look like that we men cannot live without them, which is lies, exactly. They're trying to make things the opposite of what it's all just lies, it's all just propaganda. In reality, a man is complete, and his completion have nothing to do with a woman, because completion is masculinity, while a woman is not complete on her own. She has to be attached to a male, otherwise she will die. If a female does not get at least one male attention from somewhere, she's going to drop dead. Every female has male attention from somewhere, and if there's no way for them to have male attention anymore because they turn old, this is what they do on a regular basis. They go places where males go. If they cannot have a man lusting after them, they will at least want a man to acknowledge their existence. Females will go somewhere where there's males. So every female will pretty much have at least one male attention somewhere, whether it's from the mailman or whether it's from they'll be old in the old person's house, old shelter community where they care for the old. They will get along with the male staff. As long as there's male attention somewhere, that keeps them alive. The same energy they need from us to keep them alive, we get from ourselves. We men get from ourselves. We're sustained by our own energy because we are the complete. Because females don't have the Y chromosome, they need that attention energy from us to fuel them, while we men are fueled by our own energy. Exactly. But females don't have that, so they have to get it from men. Because in order for them to feel complete, they have to have a Y chromosome to be another man. Exactly. But they're a female, which is half of a man. This is why they can't be complete on their own. Which is why they follow men everywhere we go. Which is why male spaces are not allowed in this society. They will literally, if they know there's a male space, they will always want to invade it, because they can't be left alone. This is the truth. Oh yeah, so anyway, as I was saying, once a man knows what a female is, then it's impossible to love her. To want to, and then you also fully understand why they're supposed to be controlled. Why you look back and you understand why they were always treated as property. Why were they not given rights equal to a man? It all starts making sense to you. Why? The ancients, the men of old back then, were fully aware of female nature. That's the truth. We just live in a society that lies about many things because the people that run this world system are evil. The men that work for the governments or that's part of the governments are sold out. There are a lot of men too who wants to keep the wealth and power for themselves. So therefore, they'll lie to the average man and turn their own woman against them. And it's all just a strategy, pyramid scheme, propaganda. Men who are sold out are guilty universally. They're detached from the Y chromosome, and they're all about their X chromosome, their X side, which is also known as necessary evil. Any man who's evil thinks with his second mind, is controlled by his second mind, the feminine side of him. Any man who's good in his right state of mind is controlled by this Y chromosome. So when you know what that means, when you actually realize that there's no such thing as an evil man in his right state of mind. For positivity is no word for masculinity. Negativity is another term for femininity. The negative molecule, the positive molecule, the magnet-like nature of both, the magnetism, the opposites attract. Why do you think females are called opposites? Ooh, yeah, females are all their raw identities. They're the shadow, universal chaos. All men and males of every species' real identity is dark, the peace of existence that where chaos comes out of. So it turns out, yeah. So yeah, so yeah. I want to explain that. Once you understand what females are, then it makes sense why they're supposed to be treated. That was never a bad thing. That was never a harsh. That was just a natural. That's just a natural order. That's right. So yeah, they're treated as objects because they are objects of men. I mean, in fact, all females are objects of their male counterpart. Even the divine feminine is completely controlled by the divine masculine. That's right. When there is no creation, the original male, the first creation is the female from himself, his female counterpart. Yep. So when you actually think about it, all females come from all males. It's the truth. They're taken from the X part of us. Their entire existence is originally from males. Crazy, huh? When you actually think about it. So just be aware, man, out there. You know what's crazy? Is that y'all believe the lies of the world system. That's what's really crazy. Yeah. Come on, don't stay deceived. I know there's a lot of guys who are hopeless, who stay deceived their whole life, boomers, or guys who are stupid in general, who would think with their emotion for life and not be fully in tune, not be fully aware. Yeah, don't be like that. Don't be like those bad examples of guys. Be a man that thinks with the mind beyond the emotion. Because just like how we're supposed to control females, the human female side of us, we're supposed to control our inner female, which is our emotion. Why do you think when a man controls his second mind, he's perfectly balanced? When a man is somewhat controlled by his second mind, he's unbalanced, he's evil, but then he's even worse off when he's fully controlled by his second mind. Then he's even worse. Because see, the difference is, let's see, when your dark mind is over your shadow mind, which is another word for dark is peace, shadow is chaos. So anyway, when your dark is above your shadow, you're perfect, you're universally righteous. You're what true righteousness looks like. So now I'm gonna explain it. Now notice this: when your shadow, no, I'll start with this. Okay. Now if you're dark, if you're dark and your shadow is treated equally within you, if your dark mind and shadow mind is treated equally, that's bad. Yeah, they're not supposed. Yeah, shadow and dark are not equal. Shadow is supposed to be fully controlled by the dark. That's the reality. So when dark and shadow have equal treatment, that's unnatural. Male and females are not equals. So that's why the man is still unbalanced. It's still corrupt somewhat. Now, when his shadow's over his dark, then he's even worse. Because it's not only are they not, so it's worse than being treated equally, because this time the shadow's on top, the feminine's on top of the dark, the masculine. And that's even worse. Because chaos is the one that's supposed to be controlled. Now, know this. Now, here's the last one. Now, when the dark is fully above the shadow side, and it fully controls the shadow side, then that man is perfectly balanced, mature, can't be shaken, can't be manipulated, fully aware. He's perfect. He's in the right state of mind. Why do you think that is? Because we're controlling our feminine side within us. That females are the physical embodiment of, that women are the physical embodiment of. They're taken from that feminine side of us, which is originally from us. So, yep. Females are just a feminine by itself, while men are masculine and feminine. So, the feminine side of us is our shadow mind that's within us. It's also called the emotion, ego, the self-awareness counterpart, motivation, action, the ability to do anything. Remember, chaos can be used for good or bad, where we choose to use it with. Yep, after all, movement is chaos. Being animated is chaos. Exactly, see? Understand the reality? The light shining on my face from the sunlight is chaos coming through the window. See that? It's movement. Another word for movement. Females are the physical embodiment of that pure movement of motivation itself. Chaos, ego, self-awareness, counterpart, emotion. shadow. You call all that together is called shadow, the most purest, the identity of feminine, while dark is the identity of masculine, which is peace, silence, beyond good and evil. So remember that, folks. So anyway, once you are fully aware of what female is, it makes sense why they're always supposed to be controlled. While the dad gives their daughters away like a prize. Why it's not like I'm giving you my daughter or daughters. Or the man will be like, I want your daughters. How much can I have for her? He's already, you must give me 2 goats and 50 shekels for this daughter. And then, or a man could be like, actually, I want to raise that. Before she's a woman, right? You'd be like, I actually want to raise her my way. Like from a little girl into a woman. He would choose to you would choose to buy a seed basically and raise it your way. So the same thing with a woman. Back then, this happened all the time. I'm just telling you the reality. They would go up to a father, even if the girl was not a woman yet. He would say, I want her right now. I'm gonna raise her my way. He's all right. If you want my daughter, who's not a woman yet, you must give me this much for her. You must give me 50 shekel of silver. You must give me this and that, and then I'll give her to you. Exactly. But on the average, the dads raised their daughters to respect men, to serve men, and the mother was the example of that. When they saw their mother putting the dad first above the wife and the children, they understood their place of what they're supposed to. Yeah, the mother was the example of that too. And females back then were completely happy. I mean, is completely dead now. Because how humans have a lifespan. But I'm saying, yeah, when they were alive throughout their life, they were at their happiest. There was no such thing as antidepressants or them being depressed at all. There was no depression at all because they were in the right state of mind. Females never saw it as oppression. How the society tries to teach us. Yeah, there was never an oppression thing. Them being oppressed is a lie from the world system. They were never oppressed. They were just in the right state, the right place. That's why they were so satisfied with life. They were soft, feminine, controlled. They were completely happy. They were completely at peace because they were completely contained. The embodiment of chaos, was contained, controlled by men, their male counterpart. And it's not just males, but they were respectful to males in general, and they showed a special respect to the man that owned them, that slept with them. That's why they stay away from other men to respect, because they respect the man that owns them. You know what I'm saying? I'm just keeping it real. So I'm keeping it real. Like, this is the truth. Like, this is, yeah. So anyway, as they were completely controlled, the chaos itself was complete. They were still completely, at peace, completely happy, completely fulfilled, because females are controlled beings. That's why they were at their happiest. Mm-hmm. And this is why it's shown within the man's biology. Why a man is mature when his second mind is controlled by his first mind. Why is that way within us too? Yeah, not just a couple thing or, not only that, because females are not equal to men. A man, yeah, the universe is set up to where females are our objects, are our property. They're not men. They're women. A man can have. It's up to the individual man too. This is the truth. The European system lied about marriage. Marriage is actually a made-up construct. It was never a God ordained thing. It's just a lie, one of the many lies from this society. Females are not equal to men. Females are our property. But it's up to the individual man to how he wants a female. For example, some men would choose to have many wives. Some would choose to have one wife. Some would choose to have wives and concubines. Like giving the status of wife, and then the concubines are just women he also owns, but he just used them to fuck. Or you have females cooking, focus on the cooking and cleaning. And I'm saying so when it comes to relationship, it's up to the individual man. And then some men would choose to have no female. Monks, martial artists, have always existed, even in ancient times. Like, there are men who will purposely choose not to have any woman. That's why I say that it always depends on the individual man. Because every man will have a different choice of how they want a female. Some would choose to have many, some would choose to have 2, 3, 1. Some would choose to have none. So it's just up to the man. So I'm just letting y'all know, this is the truth, when it comes to females, of what they are. Female, there's a reason why when you look at their biology, why they're designed that way. Why do you think that when they have sex with a man, a piece of his personality stays in her? She has that part of him for life. And then if they have sex with another man, and then another personality will be embedded in her from that man. And yeah, so now she has 2 personalities. She has sex with a dirt dude, and then a third person. She has 3 personalities, and then as it increases, I mean, it's they pretty much lose their ability to pair bond a lot earlier though. But anyway, but it gets so worse with them. So basically, their personality gets worse depending on how much men they sleep with, because they're becoming more and more unstable. Why? Because if every female was designed to be owned by one man, to have sex with one man, that's why they're like that. That's why women are like that. Why they become unstable. A man can have sex with multiple women, and he will still be his same self, because we are the seed giver, the life giver. We do not become altered. That's why we do not become altered when it comes to having sex with 1, 2, 3, 4 dozens. It doesn't matter, because females are designed, to be owned by one man. This is the truth. I know it sounds kind of, but hey, I state the reality of how the creator really designed everything. All females, this is their purpose. Yeah, females are not built like men. Females, this is. I'm just explaining why they're like that. The reason for that is because they're all designed to be owned by one man, and however the man choose, then those females will share that one man with other females. They'll be like, "Oh, I'm one of his wives," or they will introduce a girl to be his next wife. They'll be joining. They'll all share that one man. Yeah. This is the truth about what females are. If the females were happy, complete, because they never saw themselves as equal to men. You gotta understand, that was a lie told by our enemies, in this world system to make things go off balance, off course. Yeah. Females truly believe that they're equal to men. See, they're brainwashed by the world system. They don't understand why they're miserable. They don't understand why they are unfulfilled. Why do they stay that way? Despite that they have everything society says you should have to feel complete. You should be a boss babe. You should have this job. You should get a job, have your own income. Why are they miserable despite having all of that, achieving all that? It's because they've been lied to by society about what they are. Yeah, that's right. They were lied to by society about what they are. But why did society promote all of this? Why did the government create the feminist movement and made up a lie about history, about females being oppressed? Made up a lie? Because of part of the agenda, they couldn't make money off an entire family. They had to separate the families to make more money off of the population. They said, hey, you know what? It sucks we can't tax a woman. I know. Let's have women and men separate. And then we can tax all those women. There's a lot more women on Earth than men. Another reason why there's a lot more women on Earth than men is because the creator knew that a man would have more than one female that he will own. That's why the creator purposely made more females. So that way, because some men would choose to have one, or some would choose to have dozens. And that's why, you gotta understand, the creator knows everything. That's why this was calculated before the beginning of time. He purposely made a lot of females, because there would be men who would choose to have multiple. Exactly. So that's why he did that. In the ancient times, the time where it's also took the earth woman, to sleep with it, which created the demons of old, right? That's why during that time, the creator had to make replacement women from the earth. Yeah, I didn't really mention that before, but yeah. Oh, that's one of the stuff that's not really known in history, but yeah. It's not recorded really into history. Well, it's in one of the lost books, because even though the lost books were taken from the 6 books of the Bible, they even tamper with those books too. You gotta understand, they tamper with everything to try to. But anyway, basically there was a time where there wasn't enough women for men, because the fallen angels took a lot of the women, which was forbidden, and that's why a lot of them got punished, because they already have goddesses in heaven, female angels in heaven that they can have sex with. They just can't reproduce. They can only have sex for pleasure. So that's why. But they wanted to sleep with Earth woman. They transformed into a human man to see what it's like to make babies, but they were not designed for that. That's why they had hybrids. Cause the hybrids, the giants, the now demons, had two bodies stacked on top of each other because of their mutation. They're basically, their physical body is made from their dad being transformed into a physical man. And their spiritual body is made from their dad's real form as a spiritual being. That's why they have two bodies stacked on top of each other. Yeah. And they're known as the demons to this day. But yeah, basically, that's why there was a shortage of female during that time in history. You know what I'm saying? So what the creator did, he just made he supernaturally made a whole new group of females from the earth directly. Because originally he took the first female from the man, and human race multiplied since then, right? But then he took the females out of the earth during that era, just so that way to replace the females that was lost, that was corrupted by the fallen heavenly beings. So that's why that happened once. You understand? You understand the earth is the mother of the human race, along with any being on earth that's of this earth realm. And the creator himself is the father of us human beings and the beings of the earth. This is why the earth is called the creator's second wife. His first wife is his shadow. Second wife is the earth herself. Yeah. Because he fathered us directly like he did the original family. Yep. Before the heavens was born. But that's a whole nother subject. Anyway. So yeah, so basically he got with the earth again to purposely create daughters, a human daughters for human men that were lacking back then. That's why that happened. Because the heavenly beings corrupted them. Yeah, during that time, There's many reasons why many heavenly beings fell throughout the ages. It wasn't just a great rebellion. It was other reasons too. Because they all have their own, cause in the heavens, they have their own societies. And yeah, they could get banished for anything. Yep, they're held to the highest standard. They do one wrong thing, they fall. Yep, and they know better. So you know what I'm just saying. Oh yeah. Now I'm gonna go back to what I was talking about before I get off topic. Okay. So anyway, females back then, they're satisfied by being what they're meant to be, soft, all that, and the way they're acting today is because society set them up that way on purpose to make money off of them, and also to use as traps to go after the average man. Yes, right. Because the men and part of the government are sold out to evil. So they're sold out to universal evil, another term for the divine feminine. So yeah, so that's why this is you gotta understand the great evil lied to the world that she's a guy, but actually the evil one is actually a girl spirit. She's also called the divine feminine and the first wife of the source. Yep, she was so popular in heaven at one point that she wanted to be equal. Yeah, because she let go to her head, she wanted to be equal to the creator or above the creator. So the creator said, nope, you can't be me because I'm me. So what did he do? He cast her down to her lower positions. And that's actually where the casting down of the ego originated from. The creator was our example when he did that. That's why within existence it's shown when a man matures, he casts his feminine side within him down to a lower position. And thus he's matured. Yeah, exactly. And that's why it's the same thing with females in existence. Yeah. Because females are chaos, and chaos is just meant to be controlled, not have equal rights, because they will have to be a man to do that. When it comes to equal treatment, it's supposed to be among fellow men, boys and men. That's right. Don't underestimate children either, because they're a child doesn't mean they're not smart. Yeah, there are people, everyone's different. Some people become more aware faster than others. Understand that. But anyway, the point is, we're supposed to show equal respect to fellow men. It's not a woman thing. That's a lie. Respect a black woman or respect women. That's a lie. Respect was not made for women. It was only made for fellow men. Women are supposed to be loved by men. But of course, they're not entitled to love because they exist. They should just be thankful if a man chooses them and loves them. This is the truth, man. This is the universal reality. It sounds, different from what you're used to hearing, because a lot of you dudes out there have been lied to by society about what a female is, what a male is. But this is the truth about what a male is, what a female is. It's nature. It's natural law. It is what it is. It's just, who cares how harsh it sounds? This is just the reality, the way the creator made it. Okay, understand that. Females are just a plaything for men. They are servants of men. They are happy that way. Happiest that way. Why do you think they're like that? Why do you think they're naturally they are soft and feminine? But because they're also weak, this is why if a man doesn't, be there in our life, a father, or I'm saying like any male in general, if a female is not raised or looked after by any male, this is why they become corrupt on their own. Yeah, they become corrupt because if the evil humans that lie to people don't get them, then the evil spirits that wander the earth will get them. Many countless evil spirits live in the surroundings of the earth, and they, like, a lot of them stay either attached to trees, or they just wander looking for an energy source to suck energy out of, and they always try to be attached to something: animals, trees, plants, a place with natural life energy. They prefer humans because humans are the gods of this realm, made in the image of the dark, the creator. So they get the most energy by being attached to a human. But to a human, they have to be on the same wavelength. It's not easy, but they have to That's why they had to get us to become. The system is designed to make us negative because it will make it so easy for demons to possess us. Because we'll be giving them when a human is negative, they become possessible without knowing it. So that's why in society they try to teach us good is bad, bad is good, because they want us to get used to giving our consent without realizing it. Yeah. Huh? Oh yeah. Anyway, back to what I was saying. That's the truth about females. You know what I'm saying? Females are happiest fully controlled. There's a reason why females don't know what they want, because they weren't designed to have a mind of their own. It's just not their true self. Like they literally, when you give them equal rights, that's why they don't know what to choose. Why do you think they're a crowd follower, a please follower, a group, a herd mentality? Because they're servants of men. This is their true identity. Chaos is servant to the peace. So that's why females are that way to men. That's right. Another word for peace is the creator. Another word for chaos is the self-awareness counterpart of the creator, the ego of the creator, the controlled substance of the creator. Mm-hmm. So females are the physical embodiment of a man's second mind, the X part of us. Mm-hmm. Well, and we men, we're YX. We have both because the feminine originally came from the masculine. That's just the truth. All feminine is a piece of masculine. That's all it is. It's just made from the piece of us, the word identity. And when it's just a piece of the masculine, not the whole then that's what a woman is, chaos, feminine. That's right. So that's actually what a female is. They're the half of us. The sperm, the baby, comes from the males, the men. The woman just births it, not create. Yeah, so get out that lie that we come from a mother. No, you come from your father. Women are just a portal. All females are. So, oh yeah. So anyway, this is why a man can like sleep with a villager woman and the population grows so quickly, like a lot just from one man. While a woman can only carry they can only carry a baby for like months, and it's the loss. Yeah. It's because females are designed to be owned by one man. This is just the truth. Wherever a man like gets to them sexually, then she's just part of his harem. So yeah, I had to bring this up in this video about the reality of what a female is. Anyway, men that know what a female is, this is why we don't play the game of the world system. Why we know the world system is full of BS. Why we don't give female any kind of, because we know the truth about what they are. They're not supposed to have any kind of leverage. Yeah, we're not supposed to give them even a false perception of leverage either. We're not supposed to give them anything for free. This is why we're not supposed to be giving them our male attention for free. They have to earn that shit. Like, females are supposed to be fully controlled by men. This is the truth. Like, yeah, I don't know what to tell y'all. A lot of you guys think females are more than what they are. Like, yeah. So I can only tell y'all this much. But hey, the rest is up to you to, accept it or deny it. That's all I can say. So, that's right. So yeah, females are chaos. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And yeah, that's the raw identity of every female. Every male is the silence. That's the raw identity of every male. See? Yeah, because when you think about it, everything is literally an incarnation of the two sides, masculine and feminine. All females are based off universal chaos, because that's the first female. All males are based off the creator himself, who exceeds the beginning and end. That's the masculinity. Another term for God is masculinity. That's why he's called a he, and not a she, just a he. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. So yeah, I'm just letting y'all know. Just be aware, okay, of the truth. Because in my videos, I'm gonna expose everything. I'm gonna mention the reality. Because my videos are all about the real truth of everything. I'm not gonna sugarcoat go by culture or media or try to go easy on somebody. I'm just gonna state the true reality of everything. This is what makes my channel unique. That's right, because I'm one of those sent to give the truth about reality to the masses on earth, so people can understand why everything is the way they are, why so much things are, what I'm trying to say, why there's so many things happening on earth right now, because of the great imbalance. Yeah, people think that they're something they're not, and they're so many different things. So yeah, so before I close, I want to make sure I don't leave anything out. Hold on. So basically, let me see before I close. Let's see here. I want to make sure I don't leave anything out. So, anyway, let's see. Females are Yeah, they're controlled beings. They're made to be fully controlled. This is just what they are. The truth about their. Oh yeah. So anyway, now. Oh yeah, I remembered. Okay, I wanted to finish talking about this. I totally for. Yeah, good thing this came back to my memory. Sweet. Appreciate the original me. All right. So anyway, females basically, it's like this. By nature, females are soft and feminine. You know, it's their default setting. But because they're also vulnerable to the surroundings, the environment. This is why they'll become corrupt either way. If there's no human lying to them, then the bad spirits are going to get them over time. Yeah. If there's no male, then the bad spirits are going to get them. If there's no male to like protect and guide them. Yeah. Then the bad spirits are going to come for them and corrupt them. Because females always become their surroundings because females don't have a complete self. That's only a man thing. Females don't know what a complete self is. When they talk about I'm doing this for me, they don't understand what me really is. Because they're only going along with what they hear the crowd talk about what's popular, or you know what I'm saying, I'm a strong independent, you know, why they have to keep saying it. In order for light to exist, they have to keep repeating it in order for it to have substance. If they stop saying it, then people will see the reality that's in front of them. So that's why they have to keep saying certain lines to keep a lie going. So anyway, anyway, to put it short, females, so I want to explain this properly. Females are feminine naturally on their own, but they will still become corrupt if there's no male to raise them, you know, to guide them, you know, to keep them on that path. You know what I'm trying to say? Because females are supposed to be raised to serve men, because they're not just naturally like that. They have to be raised to stay that way. To basically what men do, we just raise them to stay on that path. Because without a male, she will become corrupt on her own regardless. All the world system this current society does, all it does is add fuel to the fire and makes them corrupt faster. That's the only difference. Even without the feminist movement, the lives of society, females become corrupt on their own. It's always been that way. But the only difference is that everything the society promotes, females become corrupt faster than ever before. That's the only difference. So yeah, they become corrupt a lot faster than they normally would. So yeah. While we men, we don't become corrupt, you know, until we grow up in our right state of mind, our right environment, we don't become corrupt. Well, then again, it depends on the man, because there's many men who, even if they had a bad upbringing, even if they don't have a dad and a mom, men are born with logic. Another thing different from male and female. Females are not born with logic. They had to be trained as a dog, you know, to you know, act out logic. They're not born with it. They have to be trained to, you know, have logic embedded in them by a male. Any female who's logical is because she was taught by a male growing up. While we males are born of logic. That's right. So, this is just the truth. This is why we become logical on our own. It has nothing, yeah, with us, we can say, you know, balance on our own. That's right. There's not anything that can corrupt us. Or this is why so for example, our enemies, right? This is why they create a system where they bash men from birth, you know, from boys, trying to make us feel defeated. They try to make it a normal thing. They want us to think with our feminine side, our weakened side. Why? Because the only way possibly that they can have us on a hook on a regular basis, you know, to be fully controllable. Because by nature, masculinity is individuality. We are proud by default. It's just our heritage, what a man is. We're based off the creator, so we have the same nature. We're proud. We don't become our environment. We don't become our surroundings. This is why we're hard to possess, because we just simply don't yield to anyone else but ourselves. It's just our nature. So our enemies knowing the truth about the male and female nature. So remember, this system is not just to deceive women about what they are, men too. So in order for our enemies, you know, you understand, in this society, it's not just evil men who think with their emotion side, which is what makes them evil. It's also evil spirits, evil gods and goddesses, you know, because every male who's evil is sold out to their feminine side within themselves. They're unbalanced. So anyway, all evil sentient beings, you know, from heaven to earth work together. You know, devils, fallen angels, you know, I'm saying all kinds. It's not just a human thing. So right now, in this current world system, they're all work within the government, and they have a secret meeting place in Antarctica. They all work together to deceive the masses on Earth of the human race. It's part of their, you know, goal. It's one of their many goals, basically. So anyway, they all created the system to lie to us. Yeah, why do they bash men from birth and make it try to make it so there's no outlet to express ourselves? because they're trying to condition us to think with our feminine side so we stay on balance. Yeah, they want us to not be attached to our Y chromosome. So that's what. So bashing men is called femitizing men, which is why they have to disrespect masculinity from birth. And they have to say the only way you can prove your worth of anything, you have to do this. You have to, yeah. I'm saying that stuff is done on purpose, man. It's not that they don't understand. They're doing that shit on purpose. And then when it comes to women, they're doing the opposite. They're empowering women. So women become even more unbalanced, even than ever before. The reality is, men are supposed to be empowered. Women are supposed to be humbled. Women are supposed to be bashed, humbled. Men are supposed to be the ones empowered. It's the truth. Now, by default, men are born masculine because we're masculine beings. That's just what we are. So in order for society to guarantee that we're controllable, they have to condition us from a small, sweet child to think with our X chromosome instead of our Y chromosome. That way, we'll be conditioned to think like a female, and thus we'll be controllable. I'm just telling you, man. Everything that happens in this world system is part of one big agenda. I'm just letting y'all know. Everything that's happening is done on purpose. Understand that. Okay? So yeah. So anyway. Now before I close, I really want to finish this what I said about this part, because I keep like jumping to other things. But yeah. Oh yeah. So anyway, now about females, right? Females become corrupt on their own. That's why, they have to be, they have to have a dad and mom, The mom is the example of how a woman should be, to make it even easier for her to stay on that route. And even if there's a mom, the dad has to train her up, to know logic, to be logical. And, to be soft and respectful towards the man. Because he will have no way of selling her or giving her away if no man wants her. So he has to raise her. He being a man himself, he knows what men want. So, what we're naturally attracted to. So yeah. So I'm just saying, like back then, things were completely simple because things were how they're supposed to be. This is just the truth. That's just the reality. So that's what I wanted to say in this video. So yeah. So females become corrupt on their own without male guidance. But then, while a man is born with logic, so we don't need guidance how a female needs. Yeah. A male just has to realize, what I'm saying? Because see, how do you explain it this way? There are men who had bad upbringing and they still became perfectly balanced. There are men who had a good upbringing and became perfectly balanced. See, it goes both ways. Notice how even when a man, doesn't matter if he has a good upbringing or a bad upbringing, he will still become perfectly balanced. Why is it easier for a man to just stay that way compared to a woman? Because men are born with logic, that's why. The only way to guarantee a man thinks with his feminine side instead of his masculine side, you have to constantly degrade him from when he's a small toddler in school. You have to hate on him constantly. You have to condition him to think emotionally. That's the only possible way for a man to stay like that, deceived. Like you have to try to ingrain it. Yeah, so that's pretty much what the society is set up to do. Yeah. Let's empower women. Bullshit. Let's humble men. Bullshit. The reality is, let's empower men. Perfect, universally good. Let's humble women. Perfect, universally good. See, that's how it's supposed to be. That's the reality. So, females are supposed to be submissive. Men are supposed to be power. Yeah. So anyway, I have to talk about this so people can have a better understanding. I talk about this in detail so people can understand it better. Alright folks, that's the end of this video. I wanted to bring this stuff up because I want y'all to understand the reality of what male and female is. One side controls the other. There's no equal treatment. Females are controlled by men. Females are not supposed to be equal to men. Neither are they supposed to be above men. That's even worse. Females are supposed to be completely beneath men, controlled by men. This is the reality. The reality. For as chaos is controlled by peace, females are controlled by male. Because another term for male is peace. Another term for female is chaos. Remember, peace is another term for the creator, and chaos is another term for the first creation of the creator, the X part of him that he took from his X side. Because the creator, the original YX, took the chaos side of him out of himself. It created the female. The Father in heaven created the Mother in heaven, and then through the Mother in heaven, he created the first two children of the cosmos, the light, male, the wisdom, female, wisdom is a little sister of the light. The light is the firstborn of creation, and the light's the sun, and the wisdom is the daughter of the dark and the shadow. Another term for the creator, and the first creation, the mother in heaven, while the creator is the father in heaven. Another term for him. So yeah, I'm just letting y'all know the realities, the natural order. So yeah, the only difference, let's see, the light is the first male extension based off the original male, while the female is the second portal to come into existence based off of the original portal, chaos. The first female. So yeah, wisdom is the first one based off chaos, and the light is the first one based off the dark, the male, the silence, the void. Yeah, and then all male and female afterwards. Yeah, of every realm onto the earth realm, us human males, human animals, human insects. So all males are based off of the creator. All females are based off of the chaos. That's right, that came from the creator first. Oh yeah, and when he took his female counterpart from himself, he created through her right away. And that's actually, all females are called portals, because that's basically what sex is based off of. You're creating through them as a portal. So that's why they're called portals, while males are called extensions. And if you were to mention male and female together, they're called incarnations. But if you were to mention the male and female separately, males are called extensions, females are called portals. So anyway, okay, I think I got everything across I wanted to get in this video. Let me see here. So yeah, make notes of this, people, of the things I said in this video, so that way you can understand things in the deepest level. That's the purpose of my YouTube channel. I want people to become aware of things for what they really are, not based on how you're conditioned by society, or or how you're lied to by your parents, because they pass on the same lie from generation from this society. Yeah. Yep. So it's all part of an agenda. I'm letting you know. So oh yeah. So yeah. Okay, I said what I need to say in this video, so that's the end of this video. Peace.